Before we started creating our first prototype, we looked at tents online to see what types of structure and features they had. We based our prototypes off of the types of tents we found.
In our low-fidelity prototypes, we used straws as support and attached them together by putting the tip of one straw into the next straw. The straws worked well because they had flexibility at some parts, which we used as the corners, and they had stability at other parts, which worked well for the edges. We used construction paper to cover the support straws. The construction paper was representative of the covering material used in real tents, but the paper was not ideal because of its limited flexibility. We attached the construction paper with tape by taping the straws to the construction paper and taping the construction paper sides together.
In our second prototype, for the tent base, we cut out a square piece of cloth and sewed the edges around straws, which made the base more sturdy at the sides. We cut out 2 triangles and 2 rectangular pieces of cloth and sewed them together to form the sides, front, and back of the tent. The fabric worked a lot better than the construction paper we used in our first prototype because the cloth had a lot more flexibility and was easier to manipulate. We hot glued the triangular straw supports to the insides of the sewn material to give the tent some structure. We put pipe cleaners inside the straws to add additional support. Then, to give some support at the top of the tent, we hot glued popsicle sticks to the top where the 2 side cloth pieces met. Lastly, we hot glued the edges to close off any gaps in the tent.
In our last prototype, we used PVC pipes for support. One obstacle we faced was that we couldn't find the attachments needed for the PVC pipes to make a triangular support structure, so we altered our design a bit to only include support structures with right angles. We then decided on the dimensions of the new tent design and cut out the corresponding lengths with the PVC cutter. We assembled the tent structure by connecting the PVC with elbow connectors and T-connectors. For the cloth, we cut out a rectangular piece and 2 triangular pieces and sewed them together to form the covering for the tent. Another obstacle we encountered was after sewing the cloth pieces together, we found that the sides were too short. We adjusted for this by cutting the PVC pipe so that the cloth could reach all the way to the bottom of the PVC. We then cut out a slit on one side of the tent to open up the cloth and create a door. Lastly, we hot glued the ends of the cloth to the PVC pipes to close any gaps on the tent's edges.
The main function of our tent prototypes was to provide shelter. The construction paper and cloth provided the shelter, and we also cut out door openings which allowed for entrance and exit from the tent.